What's up, guys? Welcome back to gentslounge. Today we were talking about what types of drinks to pair your cigar with. Hey guys, welcome back to gentslounge. I'm George. This is Pierre from Puro Trader. If you guys have not checked out his website, he has the most extensive collection of Cuban cigars and rare cigars that you can find anywhere, and it's kind of like a more of a social sharing platform where people can trade and sell their own cigars, and you can find some really cool stuff on there. I'll have a link to him down below if you want to check it out. And today we were talking about what to drink while you're smoking a cigar.
Yeah, so there's a couple things with cigars that we need to kind of get into some of the details that will help you navigate this world. Two terms that we'll start with, strength and body. So when people talk about, oh, I want a full-bodied cigar, body describes the flavor and texture of the smoke itself. So if you have a cigar that has creates a lot of smoke, and that smoke is oily and full and sometimes described as chewy, in the wine world we'd say it has great mouthfeel. That's full body. That doesn't necessarily equate to strength. Those can be two different things. You can have a really strong cigar that has a very light body. So in the Cuban cigar world, one of my favorite cigars is called the Joya de Monterey Double Corona. Classic cigar, been around for forever. Considered to be a stronger cigar, but really thin body. Doesn't produce a lot of smoke, etc. Now I say that because you want to pair strength for strength. So that's number one. Whatever you're drinking, you want to pair the strength of that beverage to the strength of the cigar that you have. So you don't want some super full, strong, spicy cigar and then pair against something that's too thin or watery or doesn't have enough oomph to it, right? So like a club soda and a Jack and Tonic or something of that nature, you won't even taste it over the cigar, right? So you want to pair those two things. So number one, start there. That's usually people's first mistake. So oftentimes they'll have a more mild cigar and then they'll pair it with a stronger scotch.
Okay.
Which effectively doesn't really work at all, right? So all you taste is scotch, number one. And two, you've got smoke on smoke in terms of flavor. And so this is a little bit controversial. I'm sure I'll get some pushback on this, but I actually don't prefer scotch paired with my cigars. And the real reason there is because oftentimes scotch or whiskey is called smoky. Cigars by in nature are smoky. And so when you're pairing them, smoke on smoke doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Right.
If you're a chef, you know that you pair sweet with salty, fat with acid, where you have complementary flavors. No one says, hey, this salty dish needs more salt. So that's something you want to pay attention to when you're pairing it. That doesn't mean you can't have a great cigar with a scotch. You just have to think about how that all plays out.
Right, so you really want something that kind of complements your next puff and your next sip. So like your smokiness from your cigar is going to complement the sweetness if you do like a rum or a champagne or a really good espresso or something, and then you'll be ready for your next hit of smokiness.
Exactly. Think about chocolate covered pretzels as a good example, right? Who would have thought that chocolate and salt would mix so well together? But if you've ever had them, you're like, wow, this is outstanding.
Yeah, it's sweet and salty.
Of course, it works really well. So when you're thinking about cigars, if you're going to go with something that is Dominican, lighter, so think Avo, Ashton, Davidoff, something of that. So if you like a more mild, softer smoke, that pairs really well with a cappuccino, right? Milky, sweet. So those two pair very nicely. Their strength is about right.
Yeah.
One has that smoke, one has more of that that milky kind of sweetness to it. So those pair really well. And then you can ratchet it up from there. So you want to add something like a Nicaraguan, maybe like a Foundation or a Tatuaje, something with a little bit more oomph behind it. That can pair really nice with either a nice mild espresso, be oily, rich, without being bitter, or what I actually enjoy a lot is champagne.
Right.
Champagne is a fantastic pairing with cigars. By nature, champagne is very bright, cleanses the palate, really wakens things up, tends to have some sweet appleness to it. None of those things are traditionally found in a cigar. So when you go back to your cigar, the two sort of ping pong back and forth on your palate.
Right, guys, and realize that a cappuccino might be better for a certain type of cigar, and then an espresso might be better for a different type of cigar. So two types of coffee done two different ways will fit two different flavor profiles of the cigars. So don't just think, oh, I only can drink coffee with this brand or this type of cigar, because it really depends on even like the champagne you get. There's sweeter champagnes, there's drier champagne, and that's going to affect, you know, how it tastes when you smoke it with a cigar. So this is really a basic intro. You guys kind of got to do some finding out on your own,
right,
what you like and what works for you, but these are some good examples to start with.
So if you want just sort of a rough guideline, just you go, hey man, I know nothing about cigars, just give me the 30-second clip. So if the wrapper of the cigar is very, very light, so traditionally that's a Connecticut wrapper on some of the brands I already mentioned, Davidoff, Ashton, etc. You want lighter beverages paired with it. So a cappuccino, right? Because it's got that, or a latte. If it is a darker wrapper, like something that is Nicaraguan, you're gonna want something that is much stronger, like an espresso, or even certain scotches or bourbons and rums are actually much better for those pairings. That sweetness offsets that richness that you get from a Nicaraguan tobacco. And for any of you out there who enjoy a Cuban cigar, I kind of put them right in the middle. They're not as strong as a Nicaraguan, they're far stronger than a Dominican, and that you can pair against a variety of things, right? From the champagne to a lighter rum. So a lot of that is a great guideline to start. So color to color, a color to the beverage, to the color of the wrapper. But again, that's just a rough guideline, then let experience be your guide. The biggest thing is complementary flavors, not the same flavors.
Right, guys. So, when you're smoking your cigar and you want to try, I'd say try a few different things at first, figure out what you really, really like. Like at first, I think I tried like the Mexican Coke, like the real sugar Coke. I like that a lot. And then I tried rum because, everyone suggested rum and I was like, okay. And then I really found that because I smoke a lighter cigar, I do like, just like a nice sparkling water or champagne, or even sometimes like a sparkling rosé is perfect for what I like and what I smoke on a regular basis.
And if you want to go old school, like if you're just a traditionalist, you want to do it the old way, Cuba's been making cigars longer than anywhere else in the world, right? They're really the godfather of cigars, as we all know. The Cuban people drink two different things traditionally with their cigar. Either Cuban coffee, which is more similar to a Turkish or espresso style, so very rich, but they put a lot of sugar in it, so that's critical, so it's very sweet but very rich, or aged rum, right? Those are the two things in Cuba. The old timers, that's what they have with their cigar. It's one or the other. Espresso in the morning and rum in the afternoon. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. It doesn't have to always be scotch.
Not all scotch is smoky, but if you're drinking a smoky scotch with a smoky cigar, it just seems like you're destroying your palate.
Right.
For no reason. I mean, no offense to anybody that does it out there. You can do it if you like it, but Lagavulin with a cigar is not my first choice, guys. So maybe if you do that, try one of these things and let us know in the comments below if it made a difference or what you think about it. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys haven't checked out Puro Trader, I'll have a link to that down below. Check Puro Trader out if you want to find like some exclusive cigars, some stuff that's hard to find, some Cuban stuff. You can find really good gifts on there as well. If you have the cigar smoker in your life, check that out. Also, if you jumped into this video and you haven't checked out our first 3 videos where we kind of go over the basics of cigars, I'll have a link to those down below so you can check those out. I would recommend starting there before moving on to the next ones that we're about to film, because it just gets a little more and more complicated. So start there, then come back to this one. All right, guys, thank you so much. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do that right now. If you haven't followed us on Instagram @gentslounge, give us a follow over there, and we will see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.